I've been talking about the Kanye West documentary. Great stuff. And I keep thinking about this director, Coodie, right? He directed this Kanye West documentary. And I just look at how this guy left Chicago, uprooted to New York to be by Kanye's side, to be by his side, and literally for like 2 years, just document his career. And probably, they didn't talk about it in the documentary, but we know that he wasn't getting paid like that. Kanye had some money, but we know that he wasn't getting paid. You know, the rate of a filmmaker is probably like 300 to 500 a day. You know, he wasn't getting paid that. You know, maybe Kanye was paying for his amenities and stuff like that, but we know he wasn't making money like that. And I wish he really addressed it. But I want to talk about in this video, as a filmmaker, is it a smart idea to partner with a musician? You know, a lot of these musicians, they want a go-to videographer to create content with. And so, you know, is it a smart idea for you to partner with a musician the way that Coodie did? Let's look at the pros and cons of this situation with Coodie and figure out if it's a smart thing for you to invest into a musician the way that Coodie did. Now, one thing I'll say is that me personally, I have been in situations where I've made free music videos for artists. When I was starting out, those music videos popped. They got like millions of views or even hundreds of thousands of views, but it didn't make me any money and it didn't bring me any new clients. So is that a beneficial thing to do for a filmmaker? What I will say is that Coodie lucked out with Kanye. He really lucked out. It's damn near impossible that you're going to find a Kanye West. He's 1 in a million, right? And think about all the other videographers that didn't, like, they went around somebody and they didn't make it. You know, there are going to be way more of those. But one thing is that even if Coodie was probably super young. I know Kanye was around 24 in that documentary. So Coodie must have been around the same age. And for you to do that in an early stage of your career, you're not going to make a lot of money, but it's not the worst thing because you're going to get a lot of experience. But you know, you're going to get a lot of experience, but is it a smart thing for you? But Coodie was a comedian. That's the thing. He had a whole career. He sacrificed his entire career because he believed in Kanye's dream more than he believed in his own dream. But it's not like he was getting compensated extremely well. And I doubt he probably made a lot of money from that. You could say that he must have made a lot of money from the Netflix documentary, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. We don't know that. One thing I'll say is that if I'm a filmmaker, I would not have done what Coodie did because I believe in myself more than I believe in, more than I believe in any artist, any musician. Like, I'm the freaking star as far as I'm concerned. And I know it sounds egotistic or whatever. It is what it is. I'm the star. And that's why I quickly learned when I was working on these music videos with these artists, and I started realizing, wait a minute, these music videos are marketing tools for the artist, especially when people would watch it and they would talk smack about the artist. Like, they'll say, oh, his face looks funny, this and that and that. They're never looking at my work, but they're looking at the artist. The music, the content that you create around this musician is about them, not about you as a filmmaker, as a documentarian, etc. Even like right now, when we watch this Kanye documentary, nobody really thinks about Coodie. In fact, in the end parts when Coodie talks about himself, it's just like, oh, we're not here to watch you. Why are you even, what? Who are you? Who are you? That's how you feel when you're watching Coodie, right? And it's like, it's almost like he's trying to force himself to like be a part of this story so he can get some clout off of it. Because look, he spent 20 years documenting Kanye. I would want to get a clout too. But when it comes down to it, a lot of filmmakers go into this thing thinking that they're going to benefit from or creating content around musicians. They're partnering with musicians and they think they're going to benefit from it. But honestly, you're probably not going to. Like 9 times out of 10. Because when you even look at the Kanye situation, after him sacrificing his life for Kanye, and trust me, he got so much experience from that, which is, I'm sure, was great. He sacrificed his comedy career to do that. And then Kanye, as soon as Kanye blows, he wants to switch up to work with more established directors. And can I just say that's a smart decision on Kanye's part, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to work with the best? Some musicians are loyal to their videographers, but it doesn't make sense. Like, Kanye is too much of an artistic genius and too much of a marketing genius to want to stick to an old grungy look. You know, he's going to want to have it glossed up. You know, even when they showed the music video for Jesus Walks that these guys shot, compared to the original one that the one that actually was released, that was a trash video. The one, like, let's be real, like, they were not producing content the way that a Hype Williams was producing it, or these big star directors were producing it. So it doesn't make sense for an artist like a Kanye West, who's an artistic genius and a visionary, to want to put all his career on the line for this director that was documenting him for so many years. I'm a filmmaker, so I can see both sides, right? I can see both sides. Like, from the filmmaker's perspective, it's like, I sacrificed 2 years to do this for you, and I believe that I'm going with you everywhere. But what actually happens is, as soon as Kanye blows, they start to distance from each other. And this guy goes off and starts doing music videos and starts making his own career, right? But when it comes down to it, was he compensated fair for documenting Kanye West? And okay, we see the Netflix documentary right now. I'm like, oh, he probably got paid a lot. We don't know that. But he would have gotten a few $1 million. Not a couple, probably a few. I would imagine he would have gotten, especially because he owns this. He's probably distributing. He probably made a lot of money. But it took 20 years to do that. And again, I go back to my original statement. Most artists are not Kanye West, right? So Kanye West is the cap, right? He's at the peak of the mountain. The artists that you're working with, are they going to be the next Kanye West? I'll just say there is a 99% chance that they will not be. Is it worth it for you as a videographer to sacrifice yourself like that and partner with this musician? It's only beneficial if you're actually getting compensated fairly. And I'm not talking about no shoestring budget. No, you're getting paid a fair, like a monthly salary. That is like what you would get paid if you were working elsewhere. That's when it makes sense. If you're not getting a monthly salary, and I think if you're a seasoned videographer, you should be making $70,000 a year as a seasoned videographer. If you're not seasoned, if you're a little rough around the edges, okay, you could take less. But if you're seasoned, you should be making at least $70,000 a year. Some people make way more than that. At least $70,000 a year. So if that musician is not able to pay you that, is it a smart idea? Again, it's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do and what not to do with your career. You have to listen to your gut and your instincts. You have to have the vision for your life. You know, you have to have that. But I'll say, with me, the vision that I have for my life, that just does not cut it. There's just no way. It doesn't even make sense, especially in this landscape where I could go on TikTok and become a famous videographer and be more famous than that musician, right? Back then, there was no famous directors like that. You weren't like TikTok famous, right? You weren't social media famous for doing works, like jobs that were behind the scenes, right? And the only famous directors were the ones that were either some music video directors, but mainly film directors were the most famous, right? But no one really cares about the director. So is it worth it? I think it's not. I think you just have to weigh your options. It's great experience that you'll learn from doing that. It's great experience. It's great exposure. I'll say in general, compensation in the music industry is exploitative and it's not that beneficial. I think as a filmmaker, as a videographer, you're better off going into journalism in the media industry and getting paid real money because you're working for real companies that have real budgets. And there you will learn how to tell stories in more dynamic ways. Sure, people can look, at the end of the day, when it comes to video, there's so many ways that you could go around it. And there's so many ways that you can monetize it, and you have to follow what you're passionate about. Some people want to become music video directors. Some people want that. I think for me, because I've worked in every sector of video production, literally from art film to music. I've worked for all the top music video directors in Hollywood, in LA, from Colin Tilley to Benny Boom to Chris Robinson. I've worked in broadcast journalism, documentary filmmaking, art film, dramatics films. I've worked on $100 million sets, made my own short film and series, made many documentaries, feature documentaries and all of that. So I've worked in pretty much every aspect of video production. And what I will say is that, to me, storytelling is the most powerful form of video production that I'm interested in. And to me, and I learned very quickly that the music industry, well, again, as a woman, it's quite sexist. But in addition to that, there's not a lot of money there for videographers. Like, I've been around the biggest, music video directors, and a lot of them are not making that much money. Some of them are making good money, but what's the cap? You have to look at it like, the question is, what do you want to do with your career, right? Do you want to be rich? Do you want to be middle class? Do you not care? That's fine. But like, if you want to be wealthy, you look at the people at the top. Look at the people in the middle, right? And so I looked at screenwriters. They don't have money. Film directors, they don't really have money. This is the median. I'm not talking about the big guys, right? And most people are not going to be big. And I'm not saying, so these guys don't have money. Music video directors, they really don't have money like that. And so, like, where's the money? Where's the actual money? It's in entrepreneurship. It's in ownership. And I talk about this so much. That's where the real money is. If you want to make real money, it's in entrepreneurship. And the people that make the most money in those fields are entrepreneurs. Even in the music industry, there's not that much money in it, right? As for a singer. But the reason why Kanye West is a billionaire is because he's an entrepreneur. He used the clout that he got from music, the fan base that he built from music, to turn it to become an entrepreneur. So when it comes down to it, a lot of people are willing to get themselves exploited because they are attracted to fame and the proximity of fame, and they think that that's going to mean wealth. But fame and first of all, the proximity to fame is not fame. So just because you get to work on a music video set, or you get to shoot a music video for a big celebrity, does not mean that you're going to get famous, and you will not get famous. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get famous from that, right? And having that proximity to fame does not mean that they're going to pay you well. They're still going to pay you the crappy amount of money that they pay. So let me break that illusion really quickly for you and just tell you the truth is, if you really want to be wealthy, you have to become an entrepreneur, or you have to invest your money. Like, people that work on in television, right? Those are the best jobs. If you're a filmmaker, working in television is the best thing you could do, because you're getting a consistent salary, right? An annual salary. And some people are making like 500 grand. There's so many shows now that there's more opportunities for you to make money like that. Back then, it wouldn't have been that easy. It would have been like a small group of people that made money like that. But today, there's so many shows, there's so many platforms, and you can make really good money on some of these shows. But the real thing is, what are you doing with your income? Are you investing it? That's how you're going to become wealthy. So unfortunately, Hollywood has put this illusion that people are rich and famous and all of that. And it's a scam. It's a scam that allowed Hollywood to exploit, people because people will do anything for their dream. They'll make all the sacrifices for their dreams. And it was a tool. Luring you in is a tool that they use to exploit you and scam you. Like when you hear about like NSYNC getting paid nothing, or all these boy bands getting paid nothing, and their managers just took all the money. But they did that because they believed, I'm famous. Even B2K, so many boy bands. So if that's happening to the superstars, what do you think is happening to the videographer, or the guy, or the stylist? So don't believe all the hype, Don't believe all the hype, and make sure you get compensated fairly. It doesn't matter how big of a star the person is, unless you can actually guarantee you're going to get a picture with that person and you're going to post it on Instagram. It's not really going to help you get more jobs. I have so many pictures with so many celebrities. Maybe it adds to my brand, from a branding perspective. It adds to your brand, but is that going to get you paid? Only if you position it in an intelligent way. Only if you use it as a tool to market yourself, the way that Kanye used the Through the Wire video as a tool to market himself. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I think if you're a filmmaker, I do not think it's a good idea for you to do what Cootie did. He got really lucky with Kanye, and he probably lucked out because Netflix paid him a lump sum check 20 years later, right? And in a way, he's like, you know, he shot all this footage, this gold 20 years ago, and 20 years later it became gold. He almost won the lottery. That's lottery status. The chances that that's going to happen to most people is slim. So I would just say, as a filmmaker, you're better off betting on yourself than betting on someone else, because that someone else can leave you. Just like Kanye, as soon as he blew, he just dropped them and just did his own thing. So for you, I think it's better for you to invest in yourself. Unless, of course, I think about Logan Paul, and he had a videographer and he was paying him a salary, which I'm sure was a great salary for the work he was doing. Then it makes sense to work for these people. But at the same time, that's one perspective, right? The other perspective is that when you're young, if you get to be behind the scenes with a very successful person, Kanye wasn't successful yet, but he was getting the blueprint. But sometimes that experience is invaluable. Sometimes that experience could mean that it teaches you so much, and then you use that as a tool to become very successful yourself. So you just have to gauge the person that's asking you to do that. Do you actually believe in their career? Is this person showing signs of success? Do they have the skill set of a successful person? And if they do, maybe it's worth it. Because if you told me right now, would I go and, intern for Jeff Bezos and get paid nothing for a year? Absolutely. I would do that in a heartbeat. Because think about all the things that I would learn in that 1 year that I can use as a tool to build my business in the future. So that is invaluable. But so you just have to gauge the situation. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. My name is Kenim, and see you next time. Peace. Have you ever wondered why Beyonce has such a strong cult following? The Beehive go crazy over Beyonce. What about the Barbs? Nicki Minaj's fans go crazy over her. And then Justin Bieber, the Beliebers, they love him. Why do these musicians have such a strong cult following? And if you're an artist, how can you build a cult following? If you're a musician, this is for you. I have a free webinar. It's not one of those webinars that you have to sign up and you go through it. No, this is a free webinar. You click the link, you start watching it immediately. Free webinar. It's going to tell you exactly. I'm not one of those people that's going to waste your time. Straight to the point. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to build an artist persona and help you take your career to the next level. So if you're serious and you really want to get the ball rolling right now, build out an artist identity, an artist persona that is unique and that will make you stand out. And most importantly, that will help you build a cult following that is raging for you the way that these guys have a strong following. Guys, click the link down below. Limited time offer. This is probably going to be the last time you see this video, to be honest. This is not going to be available for too long. There's a limited space. So click the link down below so you can join this free webinar and start putting things into motion to build out a strong career. Let's get to it.